What's going on, guys? Another update video on the Redcat Ascent. We've got all of our trail parts installed. We did the inner portals, we did the link mounts, we did the outer portals in the front, we did the link mounts in the front. We ended up installing trail inner portals in the rear. All the link mounts are trail brass. The panhard bar we had an issue with. There must be a difference between Gen 8 and Gen 9. We did the outer portals in the front. I think there is a small difference in the outer portals as well. The wheels aren't going to fit with my brass adapters. I actually usually run these guys. They're 12mm spacers and they're solid brass, obviously. But when you put these on, when they bottom out on the wheel hex, it actually touches the outer portal cover here. So I think these are clearanced enough for just basic wheel hubs. The factory wheels in fact fit on there without any rubbing issues. So I'm not sure we're going to be able to run extra brass up front on the wheels. Not a huge deal. The outer portal covers on the front are super heavy, like ridiculously heavy. So not too concerned about that. We have enough weight up front. We're going to take out the factory motor and all the electronics here, and we're going to mount our winch servo next. So we're going to get into it right now. So this exposes our servo mounting holes for our winch servo. This is our Endura 35 kg 360 degree winch servo. This came with the spool, the line, the hook, everything you need, and it plugs directly into your receiver. You do not need a power adapter for this. Now it is only rated to 6 volts, so we're going to see how long it lasts. I don't anticipate using this a lot. It's mainly just for points and just to get some weight in the front. And then also if I wanted to winch, I could. So we got to rig up some sort of fair lead, but essentially that's going to go just like that. And that will put it right up front. They don't really make it easy to get to the bottom motor screw. And just like that, our motor and ESC are uninstalled. These may go in a different build. This is actually a pretty decent setup, honestly. The pinion's going to get reused. This appears to be a 12-tooth pinion on here, so not bad. We could probably go quite a bit smaller. It looks like there's enough adjustment there. But there's that. The Fusion SE hopefully shows up in time. And we get to put that in. So there you go. Now as far as the winch servo is concerned, we're going to mount it up. I'm probably going to have to rig up some kind of a fair lead like I said before. The Redcat bumper here has kind of a nice flat area where possibly you could just groove that out with the Dremel tool. Or even just drill a simple hole in the middle and then just deburr it on both sides. The bumper pops right off, so I don't see a problem with that. It'll have basically an integrated fair lead, and then you could always clip the cable back over the body or that type of thing, or just have the hook hang there on the bumper. So you could also install some D-rings on the bumper. The Endura winch servo will be linked in the description below, and it's also waterproof, it says. I don't know to what extent, but that's kind of cool because everything else on this is waterproof. So we'll be able to do some water crossings and that type of thing. Now one thing I'm kind of concerned about is wire routing. I gotta make sure all the wires are pulled over to the side away from the spur gear because it is just exposed. There's no guard on it. Now the best part about using the hardware that comes with the trail parts is you have a lot of leftover stock hardware, like from the link mounts and everything. And I'm actually using those to hold the servo in at this point. So kind of cool. You can reuse parts that way, and I don't know, saves you some money, saves you some time. You don't have to source parts. And there you go, winch servo is in place. We just got to figure out the fair lead thing, and then we'll be set. We're still waiting on the Fusion SE, so once we get that, we're going to throw that in. We just drilled a simple hole in the bumper here to act as a fair lead. We've got the little hook that it came with and the kind of micro paracord type stuff. It also did come with real cable, so we could always switch it out if we want, but I have it rigged up with some extra radio equipment that I had just to test this out. So here it is. So that's winch line out. Winch line in. Apparently my neighbors are fighting. Shh. This is plugged directly into the receiver. There's no adapter or anything. Now this says it can only handle up to 6 volts, I believe. And it is a little warm just from playing with it a few times, but if you're just going to winch once or twice on the trail, or just in case on a comp course or something like that, I think you're more than fine. And without wheels or anything, I just set this down and held the winch line, and it actually pulled the entire vehicle and didn't even really sound like it was struggling. So I think this is a great low cost option. You could always upgrade to like the Reef's integrated winch setup or something later on, but just to get you started and get you in the game, this can do it right here. Now just to show you what is going on here, the spool for the actual winch is mounted underneath the vehicle here. The steering servo comes close to it on the one direction. When you steer, it'd be right, but honestly I don't think it's gonna matter that much. Basically, one thing we need to figure out is like just a little bar across here or something to keep the winch cable from drooping down. I could see if it went slack, it could get caught up in stuff, but if we have a little bar just across here, just a piece of metal or 3D printed something, we could keep the winch cable in line there. One thing I did notice is I actually had this wound the other direction. I actually flipped it to where reverse or winch line in would actually be winch line out. Essentially what that did is it put the output off the bobbin there straight to the center of the vehicle, which pops right out this hole in the bumper. Really simple to do. You don't need anything fancy. It's almost like they designed this specifically for that. So pretty cool, Redcat. Thank you for that. Aside from that, I'm actually really impressed with this whole setup, and I can't wait to get this on the trail and get it dirty and bash it and get it all messed up just to see how well it can do. So stay tuned for more. That's the winch servo install from Amazon. Everything's linked in the description that I'll be putting on this or have put on this. So thank you for watching, and we'll catch you in the next video.